evening. How y'all doing tonight? Well, my name's Tom. I'm just a rambling Christian. If this is the first time you've been here, please stick around. We look at things a little different around here. Now, typically, I like to ramble before I get started. So, this evening, before I go to bed, I like to read the Bible before I go to bed. But it gives you something to think about while you're sleeping. And Psalm 38 come across me. Now, here it says a Psalm of David to bring to remembrance. Now, what this is this is a psalm about addiction. Church wouldn't pick that up. Now, I'd read this before, and I'm not even sure if I taught on this. I know I taught on 37 in church because I got a mark for church in my Bible. But now that I can see a lot better, this truly speaks of addiction. And, I used to be a big beer drinker. And don't give me no bourbon, buddy. Bourbon was my nemesis. I like bourbon. But whiskey, bourbon, not whiskey, really brings out my fighting side. You know what I'm saying? I used to go with my brother and we'd just go to a bar just to pick a fight. And I've done that a lot. But, nobody chooses to be an addiction. They truly don't. Nobody gets up in the morning and goes, man, I'm going to go get addicted to something today. Most of it comes through our inability to face pain that the world has brought upon us. Now, it's not a personal choice, typically. People don't seek a way out for no reason. You know what I'm saying? They don't just come to alcohol or drugs or any of this kind of stuff. Now, I've known a lot of addicts. I used to sell a lot of drugs. But back when I was young, before I met my wife, all that. And everyone, not everyone, you had some that were just weekend warriors. But most come, depending on what you got, from once to multiple times a day. But I've done them all. I never got addicted to drugs. I always had this thing. If I can't give away my last of whatever I got, then I'm addicted. And so are you. If you can't give away your last, you're addicted. And I mean give it away, not sell it or anything like that. Like grabbing your last beer out of the fridge and giving it to your friend while you drink a soda. That kind of thing. So, but, but I avoid alcohol pretty much because I might have a beer with Mexican food. So it just goes good together. And no other food like that. I'd rather have a glass of milk or a Dr. Pepper with pretty much anything else. And but Mexican food, a beer. Now, I don't know. It's just something about I got a lot of Mexican friends. Well, I had a lot of Mexican friends when I lived in Texas, man. And man, with Mexican food and beer, it's always that way. It's good. It's good. But moderation in all things. All things. But this world, it's designed to crush people, through no fault of their own. We discussed Job back in a lesson where Job would be a representation of the world. And even addiction, even, because he had sores breaking out all on him and everything. They call them boils and stuff, but if you look at people who are addicted that pick at themselves, meth, crack, this new fentanyl with tranquilizer in it is just basically, rotting them off, and bending them over like a bunch of people bowing, right? And get stuck that way. I've heard that people have been bent over so long that they lost circulation in their legs and had to have, some surgery on that. And I've tried to help quite a few. You can't give them monetary help, really. You're just enabling. But through, I wouldn't call it counseling, but I never tried to throw Jesus in their face or anything like that. It was before I ever had Jesus. I had him, but I didn't use him. You know what I'm saying? That's not what Jesus is for. He's not to throw at everybody and say, "Oh, you need Jesus. Jesus will fix it all." No, that's not how it works. Coming to Jesus doesn't automatically take away, years of suffering through other people's hands and all kinds of weird stuff that I've heard that I personally have never experienced and don't and find it. That's why I say if you've never done drugs, you should not be a counselor for drug addicts. And like if you've never been beaten by a man for women and stuff like that, you shouldn't try to talk to women because you don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? And people are so easy to go, "Oh, I understand. Oh, I know how you feel." Oh, but no, you don't. No, you don't. Because you didn't shut your mouth long enough to listen to them. That's usually how it goes. Church goes out there to the streets and they tell all those people out there, "Oh man, Jesus will fix all this stuff. Everything that you got wrong with you, Jesus will fix." No, that's not it at all. At all. Me personally, I know what my thing was. And when I could face the pain that the world had brought me and come to an understanding that the pain they caused me, they had pain that was caused to them. And then that kind of rolls, kind of thing. People don't automatically start beating their wives. They might have grown up in a house where their dad beat their wife. And then his grandfather, probably beat his. It's a generational thing. It's not a quick fix type thing. We're talking people with generational pain, and suffering, carrying that with them. And they don't have an understanding that perhaps whomever did that to them, this is what the forgiveness comes from, is understanding that the world crushed them too. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, "Oh, it's their fault." You can't do that. That's a blanket wash. You can't blanket wash nothing here, ever. It's not, we're not all the same. We don't all think the same. We're all individuals that handle individual things differently. None of us handle anything the same. You're not going to find two people out of the 8 billion, is it close to 8 billion on the planet, that think the same in all things, or know the same things, or any of that. None of them. Everybody is different. Every situation is different. But you have to sit back and honestly look at each individual situation in your own life that brought you to where you're at, in that pain and suffering where you're at. You know, I was carrying around a lot of hatred. I was. I did not love until I met my wife. She's the one who gave me the ability to love with everything I had. Before that, love was meaningless to me, because I had too much pain and hate inside, and it wasn't a hate for any particular reason that I could think of today. But I got valid reasons, but I also took time to think about the other person and what they went through. I've spoke of it before here. And that helped me to come to forgiveness, because they were crushed too, truly. And that's probably, forgiveness is what gets rid of hate. Forgiveness gets rid of any kind of judgment. Forgiveness grants mercy. But let's look at this, Psalm 38, and just listen to it. O Lord, do not rebuke me in your wrath, nor chasten me in your hot displeasure. For your arrows pierce me deeply, and your hand presses me down. There is no soundness in my flesh because of your anger, nor any health in my bones because of my sin. For my iniquities have gone over my head, like a heavy burden, they are too heavy for me. My wounds are foul and festering because of my foolishness. I am troubled, I am bowed down greatly. I go mourning all day long, for my loins are full of inflammation, and there is no soundness in my flesh. I am feeble and severely broken. I groan because of the turmoil of my heart. Lord, all my desire is before you, and my sighing is not hidden from you. My heart pants, my strength fails me. As for the light of my eyes, it has also gone from me. My loved ones and my friends stand aloof from my plague, and my relatives stand afar off. Those also who seek my life lay snares for me. Those who seek my hurt speak of destruction and plan deception all day long. But I, like a deaf man, do not hear. I am like a mute who does not open his mouth. Thus I am like a man who does not hear, and in whose mouth is no response. For in you, O Lord, I hope. You will hear, O Lord, my God. For I said, hear me, lest they rejoice over me, lest when my foot slips, they exalt themselves against me. For I am ready to fall, and my sorrow is continually before me. For I will declare my iniquity, I will be in anguish over my sin. But my enemies are vigorous, and they are strong, and those who hate me wrongfully have multiplied. Those also who render evil for good, they are my adversaries, because I follow what is good. Do not forsake me, O Lord, O my God. Be not far from me. Make haste to help me, O Lord, my salvation. lot of pain in that. A lot of pain in that. Wow. May the Holy Spirit guide you. May God, the Father, creator of us all, protect your soul.